My name is Mary Chappell, and I'm going to be talking about how physical abuse in children affects them not only as a child, but also in their adult lives. Being informed about child abuse and their future difficulties can help spread awareness to stop abuse. Children who have experienced physical abuse can develop lower IQs, as well as depression, anger, and instability in their relationships as adults. Children that suffer from physical abuse carry this with them for the rest of their lives. There are many organizations to help stop abuse and save abused children. However, the problem is that it is not exposed enough. So, abuse can cause children to develop at a slower rate because it harms the developmental process. This can make their IQs drop significantly. On a study done by Gerald Beale, he took two groups of children. The first group were children who had been abused, rescued, and adopted by age 8 to 10. The second group was of similar children, but they were saved and adopted by age 2. Now, when he studied their IQs, he found that the older group had an average IQ of about 50, whereas the younger group had an average IQ of 100. Now, this goes to show that no matter what, physical abuse affects the IQs of children. It gives them a more difficult time in school with their peers and concentrating even. And those that are exposed to abuse for a longer period of time develop at about half the rate as those who were abused but had stopped at a younger age. Not only does it hurt their developmental process as children, but because this process is so significant to the formation of adults, of children into adults, it also gives them problems in their adult lives, in their relationships with others, their romantic relationships, even in marriages and with children. In a quote by Karakurt, she says that one of the most important attachments is the marriage of the abuse survivor, which is more likely to experience conflict and distress due to the abused partner's history of victimization and neglect, coupled with a faulty working model of how healthy relationships should function. Now, the developmental process is stopped at the age where the trauma was inflicted. So, if we do not learn to cope with the troubles of life because we are hindered at a young age, this affects how we are as adults. And with abused children, sadly, it leads most often to depression, to anger issues, and the sad cycle of abuse inflicted on their spouses or their children. If it is not treated properly, the abuse continues generation after generation. Now, there are many organizations to help with this, to help save children who are being abused, but not only that, to help adults who had been abused cope with it through therapy and acceptance of their histories. Some organizations are the childrenshelp.org. This website can offer a variety of information about how to detect abuse, and how to deal with the situation if you find a child who is being abused. How to report it and to take care of them and lead them on the right path. Here in Garden Grove, we have a child abuse prevention center. And this place, you can also be greatly informed about abuse and how to help. But not only that, you can also go there for therapy, or to bring somebody who you think might be abused or be inflicting abuse on their children. There is only one problem with these organizations, is that they are not well known enough. People do not speak about child abuse enough, and some ways that we can really help with this is through the use of technology and the media. Because technology is so big now, and social media sites like Facebook or Twitter, they circle around these news stories, and one way to greatly get people informed and to help stop the cycle of abuse is to use these sites to advertise, to use these sites to inform, to help people notice signs and help children who are being abused. Being informed about child abuse and their future difficulties can help spread awareness and stop abuse. It's important to be aware of the long-term effects of child abuse, which, can be depression, instability, insecurity, and trouble concentrating. So if you know someone who has suffered from child abuse, please do not hesitate to help them, because the effects don't disappear, and you could change their lives. Thank you.